Most people think AI will either take their job or make them rich, but the truth is quieter than that. AI may not replace you tomorrow. It may first help you write faster, summarize faster code, faster design, faster and analyze faster. Then one day, your company realizes the entry-level work can be done without entry-level people. The team still exists, the meetings still happen, your paycheck still arrives. But slowly the market starts asking a terrifying question. If AI can do half of your tasks, what is the other half for the? To understand that question, don't imagine AI replacing your job. Imagine it entering your Monday morning. Level 1, the assisted worker. You are the mid-career knowledge worker in a mid-sized American company. The person with a mortgage payment due next Friday, a Slack window full of unread messages, and a quiet belief that your speed is one of the reasons you still matter. It is Monday morning. You open your laptop at the kitchen table before the rest of the house is awake. There are 26 unread Slack messages. Outlook shows 47 emails. Your manager Denise needs a clean summary of Friday's client call before 10 a.m. A coworker has shared an 18-page Google Doc labeled Final Notes, even though everyone knows it is not final. A vice president wants the same material turned into a short deck by the end of the day. 2 years ago, this would have swallowed your entire morning. You would read the transcript, highlight quotes, rewrite 3 awkward paragraphs, draft the email, clean the bullet points, and wonder how your actual job became the act of preparing to do your actual job. Now you open an AI tool. You paste the transcript. You ask for 5 key insights. You ask for a version that sounds more executive. You ask for an email to Denise that is confident but not too polished. 10 minutes later, you have the first draft of everything, and it feels good. It feels less like a threat and more like relief. Microsoft and LinkedIn's 2024 Work Trend Index reported that 75% of global knowledge workers were already using generative AI at work, and that usage had nearly doubled in the previous 6 months. In other words, Level 1 is already inside the ordinary workday. You feel faster and slightly replaceable in equal measure. Beyond the fear of replacement, the first real risk of AI is what it reveals, which parts of your job were never as rare as you hoped. Level 2. The task splitter. You are the same worker 3 months later, now trusted by your manager because you can produce in one afternoon what used to take 2 days, while quietly noticing that the easiest work on the team has stopped going to the newest people. At first, AI was your personal assistant. Then it became part of the team's workflow. The change happens casually. Maya, the intern, used to prepare the first draft of competitor research. Brandon, the junior analyst, used to clean the spreadsheet before sending it to you. A new copywriter used to write the first 20 headlines, even if 16 of them were terrible. A paralegal used to summarize documents. A support rep used to answer basic tickets. Now those tasks go through AI first. In a Tuesday meeting, Denise says, "We are not replacing anyone. We are just becoming more efficient." And she is not lying. No one is marched out of the building. No dramatic layoff email arrives at 4:57 p.m. No badge stops working at the elevator. Instead, the internship program becomes smaller this year. A junior analyst opening is paused until Q3. A full-time role becomes a contractor project. A new hire that would have existed in the old budget never appears in the new one. This is why AI job risk is so hard to see in real time. It does not always arrive as a firing. Sometimes it arrives as a missing job, and you are part of it. You like the speed. You like not staring at a blank page. You like getting home before dinner. But you also remember being 25 doing clumsy work that someone more experienced had to fix. The clumsy work was never wasted. It was how you learned. You feel productive and complicit in equal measure. At level 2, automation is only the visible part. The hidden cost is the training ground where future experts used to be built. Level 3. The mid-career employee on a thinner ladder. You are the mid-career employee who is not being replaced, not being demoted, and not being warned, but who now stares at an org chart where the bottom layer looks thinner every quarter. It is Wednesday at 2:15 p.m. You are in a headcount planning meeting with Denise Marcus from HR and Priya from Finance. On the screen is next year's department plan. Years ago, the conversation was predictable. The team would add 2 junior people, one analyst straight out of college, one coordinator who would spend the first 3 months asking where files lived, what acronyms meant, and why every company process had three exceptions. At first, they slowed everyone down. Then, after 18 months, they became useful. After 3 years, one of them became the person who trained the next one. That was the career ladder. Imperfect, frustrating, inefficient, but real. Now Marcus asks a different question. Do we need another junior hire, or can we combine AI tools with one senior contractor? Nobody says young workers do not matter. Nobody says the first rung of the ladder should disappear. Nobody says the company has stopped believing in training people. But the question itself has changed. Entry-level hiring is no longer treated as an obvious investment in the future. It has become a cost that must defend itself against software freelancers and one overextended senior employee who already knows the company. This is where your private anxiety becomes structural. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025 projected that by 2030, 170 million new roles could be created and 92 million displaced for a net increase of 78 million jobs. That matters because the story is bigger than simple job loss. It is job churn, skill churn, and role redesign at massive scale. You feel safer and more stranded in equal measure. You are not the first person being cut, but you are standing on a career ladder whose lower rungs are becoming harder to see. At level 3, the danger is not that your job disappears tomorrow. It is that the ladder beneath you starts disappearing today. Dizzy, pause here for a second. I just want you to know, the internet loves turning AI into a simple race, learn the newest tool, or get left behind. But that is too shallow. The person who survives the AI economy is not always the person with the flashiest prompt. It is the person who understands which parts of their job are tasks, which parts are judgment, and which parts require trust. AI can copy output faster than it can copy responsibility. That difference may become your career moat. Level 4. The repriced professional. You are the professional who still has a job, still has a title, and still gets polite feedback in performance reviews. But who begins to realize the market is renegotiating the price of the skills that once made you feel secure? It is performance review season. You sit with Denise in a conference room named Hudson, where the screen never connects on the first try. She smiles, opens the review document, and tells you that you had a strong year. You produced more analysis, faster decks, cleaner client notes, better summaries, fewer delays. You adapted well. You helped the team absorb the new tools. Then comes the raise. It is fine. Not insulting, not generous, just fine. The promotion conversation becomes next cycle. The company says productivity is up, but headcount budget is still tight. You are producing more output than before, but somehow your leverage does not feel bigger. That is the part that unsettles you. Denise is not being cruel. Priya from finance is not your enemy. The company is not giving speeches about replacing people with robots. The question is more subtle. If AI helps a normal employee write faster, analyze faster code, faster research, faster, and design faster, then how much of your old premium was actually attached to speed? A younger coworker uses an AI agent to assemble a report that once required 3 people. A consultant sells leadership an AI transformation package. A vice president asks during a town hall, if everyone has AI, what will separate great performers from average ones? You know, the answer cannot simply be, I work hard. Everyone says that. McKinsey estimated that by 2030, activities accounting for up to 30% of hours currently worked across the U.S. economy could be automated, accelerated by generative AI. That does not mean 30% of jobs disappear. It means many jobs can be split apart, which activities can be automated, which can be augmented, and which still require human responsibility. This is the repricing risk. AI may never fire you, but it can quietly make some of your old skills less scarce. You feel valuable and discounted in equal measure. At level 4, the firing never comes. What comes instead is a quiet renegotiation of what your work is worth. Level 5, the workflow designer. You are the worker who finally stops asking whether AI will replace you. Because after the assistant, the missing junior tasks, the thinner ladder, and the smaller raise, you understand the real question is where you will stand inside the new workflow. It is Thursday night. Dinner is over. Your kid is doing homework at the kitchen table. The dishwasher is running. You open your laptop not to answer another email, but to look at your own career like a map. On one side, you write what AI does well: summarize, rewrite, draft, classify, format, compare, generate options, turn messy notes into clean paragraphs, turn clean paragraphs into bullet points. Turn bullet points into a presentation that looks good enough for Monday. Then you write what still needs you, knowing what matters, catching what sounds wrong, understanding a client's politics, sensing when a technically correct answer would damage trust, deciding what not to say, taking responsibility when the output fails, protecting the judgment that no dashboard can fully measure. You realize there are three choices. One is to resist AI and become the slowest person in the room. The second is to use AI as a tool, but keep the same old identity: I am paid because I produce tasks. The third is harder. You rebuild your identity around workflow design. You become the person who knows how work should move, what AI should handle, what humans must review, when speed is dangerous, and where accountability has to remain visible. Goldman Sachs research has estimated that around 300 million jobs globally are exposed to AI automation. But exposure does not mean elimination. It means jobs are opened up, separated into tasks, recombined, and repriced. That is terrifying if your career identity is built only on output. But it is useful if your career is built on judgment. You feel obsolete and reborn in equal measure. At level 5, your old skill stack is not useless. It is unfinished. At level 1, you thought AI was helping you survive Monday. At level 5, you realized Monday was never the real issue. The issue was whether your career was built on repeatable output or human judgment. Jobs built only on repeatable output become more exposed. Jobs built on judgment, trust, taste, context, ethics, coordination, and accountability become harder to reduce to a prompt. That does not make them safe forever, but it does make them harder to price like a commodity. So the question is not just, will AI take my job? The better question is, if AI can do half of your tasks, what part of your work would still make someone trust you, promote you, or pay you more? AI can make output cheap. It cannot make responsibility cheap. This week, do 3 things before AI rewrites the answer for you. 1, list every task you did in the last 5 work days. Mark which ones an AI tool could already do at 80% quality. 2, look at what is left. Those are the tasks that require judgment, taste, context, or accountability. That list is your real career. Everything else is rented. 3, identify the one skill on that list that almost nobody in your company can replace. Spend the next 90 days making that skill visible to the people who decide your trajectory. Your career moat is no longer what you can produce. It is what you can be trusted to decide. And if you had to rebuild your career around that truth, what would you start protecting today?